The air in your room is cold. It is 4 in the morning, the hour of the wolf, when the world is draped in a heavy, suffocating silence. You lie there, staring at the ceiling, and the weight of the blankets feels like a burial shroud. Your body is a map of minor aches, your mind a cluttered hall of echoes, reminding you of every time you fell short, every time you chose the path of least resistance. The darkness is thick, almost physical. It whispers that you should stay. It whispers that the world doesn't care if you rise or if you rot. It tells you that comfort is the only reward for a life of quiet desperation. But there is a pulse. It is faint, buried deep beneath the layers of modern lethargy and social conditioning. It is a rhythmic drumming in your marrow, a remnant of a lineage that did not know the luxury of a thermostat or the safety of a locked door. This is the awakening. This is the moment the ghost of the man you were supposed to be stands at the foot of your bed and demands an account of your life. You feel the chill of the floor against your feet. It is a sharp, jagged reminder that you are still alive. You are not a ghost yet. You are a vessel of potential, currently stagnant, waiting for the spark that turns a spark into a wildfire. The transition from the warmth of the sheets to the biting air of the room is your first victory of the day. It is a small thing, seemingly insignificant, but in the realm of the spirit, it is a declaration of war. You are moving while the rest of the world dreams of things they will never have the courage to pursue. You are standing in the gray light of a new day, looking at a reflection that does not yet match the fire in your chest. This is where it begins, not with a roar, but with the quiet, deliberate decision to refuse the sedative of mediocrity. You walk through your house in the stillness. Every creak of the floorboards sounds like a crack of thunder. You are the only thing moving in a static world. This is the isolation of leadership. This is the solitude of the warrior. You realize that most men spend their lives trying to be noticed, trying to shout loud enough to be heard over the noise of a billion other voices. They want the attention without the substance. They want the crown without the scars. But you are learning a different truth. You are learning that to become the man no one can ignore, you must first become a man who can ignore the world. You must turn inward. You must go into the basement of your own soul and face the shadows you have been running from since you were a child. The battle is not fought on a field with banners and drums. It is fought in the kitchen over a glass of water. It is fought in the gym when your lungs feel like they are filled with hot glass. It is fought at your desk when your mind screams for the distraction of a screen. This is the internal war. It is a war of attrition. Your weakness is an expert strategist. It knows your pressure points. It knows the exact moment your resolve begins to fray. It uses the language of logic. It tells you that you've done enough. It tells you that one day of rest won't hurt. It tells you that you are human, and humans are allowed to be soft. But you are not just a human. You are a descendant of survivors. You are the result of 1,000 generations of men who refused to die in the snow. They did not have the luxury of burnout. They did not have the privilege of finding themselves. They found themselves in the teeth of the storm. They found themselves when the grain ran out and the wolves were at the door. You carry their iron in your blood, but it has grown brittle from disuse. You must forge it again. Forging requires heat. It requires the kind of pressure that breaks lesser materials. Every time you push your body past the point of comfort, you are striking the anvil. Every time you say no to a craving that seeks to dull your edge, you are tempering the blade. Think of the steel. It starts as raw ore, dirty and shapeless. It must be melted down. It must lose its original form to become something greater. You are in the melting phase. The discomfort you feel is the burning away of the dross. The parts of you that are lazy, the parts of you that are vain, the parts of you that seek validation from strangers. Those parts must be consumed by the flame. Do not fear the struggle. The struggle is the only thing that is real. In a world of digital shadows and manufactured outrage, the resistance of the weight in your hands or the difficulty of a complex problem is the only thing that cannot be faked. It is the curriculum of the soul. You must learn to love the burn in your muscles as much as a sailor loves a strong wind. It is proof of movement. It is proof of progress. When you feel the urge to quit, you must realize that is not your body talking. It is the ego trying to protect its own fragility. The ego wants to stay the same. The spirit wants to expand. The modern world is designed to make you a well-fed slave. It offers you endless entertainment to keep you from thinking. It offers you easy calories to keep you heavy and slow. It offers you 1,000 tiny conveniences to ensure you never have to develop grit. This is the trap. This is the cage with golden bars. To become the man no one can ignore, you must break the bars. You must choose the hard way simply because it is hard. You must walk when others drive. You must study when others watch. You must remain silent when others gossip. There is a specific kind of power that emanates from a man who has mastered himself. It is not loud. Doesn't need to brag. It is a presence that fills a room like the scent of ozone before a storm. People can feel it in your posture. They can hear it in the cadence of your voice. It is the sound of a man who is no longer at war with his own reflection. When you stop seeking approval, you gain the power to lead. When you stop fearing loss, you become dangerous to the status quo. The ancestral code is not a list of rules written in a book. It is a frequency. It is the frequency of honor, duty, and unyielding resolve. Our ancestors understood that life is a brief flash of light between two eternal darknesses. They knew that the only thing that survives the grave is the story of how you stood your ground. They lived by the code of the Norns, the weavers of fate. They believed that while your death date was already woven, what you did between the first breath and the last was entirely up to your own will. Weak men wait for the right conditions. They wait for the sun to come out. They wait for the money to be right. They wait for the vibe to be perfect. But the warrior creates his own climate. He carries his own sun. He understands that the storm is not an obstacle to the journey. The storm is the journey. If you wait for the world to be ready for you, you will die waiting. You must take the world by the throat and force it to acknowledge your existence. You do this through the relentless application of discipline. Discipline is the highest form of self-love. It is the act of choosing what you want most over what you want now. It is the fatherly voice inside you that says, stand up, do the work, be better. This is the core of the Viking mindset. It is the realization that you are the captain of your own longship. The seas may be violent, the monsters may be real, and the destination may be uncertain. But you are the one with your hands on the wood. You are the one who decides if you turn back or if you sail into the unknown. Look at your hands. They were made to build. They were made to protect. They were made to hold the weight of responsibility. In a culture that devalues masculinity, the most rebellious thing you can do is be a man of high character. Be a man who keeps his word. Be a man who provides a shield for those who cannot protect themselves. Be a man who is capable of great violence, but keeps it under absolute control. This is the definition of a gentleman, a man who is gentle because he is strong enough to afford it. A weak man is not peaceful. He is merely harmless. There is a profound difference. The man who is ignored is the man who is predictable. He is the man who follows the script. He goes to the job he hates, eats the food that kills him, and complains about the leaders he chose. He is a leaf in the wind. But the man who cannot be ignored is the man who has become a mountain. The wind blows against the mountain, but the mountain does not move. The rain washes over it. The snow covers it. The sun beats down on it. But the mountain remains. You must develop the gravity of a mountain. This comes from the accumulation of 1,000-yard stairs and million-pound lifts. It comes from the hours of deep work where the rest of the world vanished. It comes from the integrity of your private life. If you are a king in public but a coward in private, the world will eventually smell the rot. You must be the same man in the dark that you are in the light. Your discipline must be absolute. It must be your religion. When you walk into a room, do not look for who is looking at you. Look for what needs to be done. Look for the problem that needs solving. The man no one can ignore is the man who is essential. He is the man who, when everything goes wrong, everyone looks to for the next move. He is the anchor in the storm. This kind of respect cannot be bought. It cannot be inherited. It must be extracted from the world through years of consistent, high-level performance. Think of the ancestors sitting around the fire. They are watching you. They are the audience in the stands of your life. Do you think they are impressed by your Netflix queue? Do you think they care about your social media engagement? No. They are looking for the flicker of the old fire. They are looking for the grit. They are looking for the man who can endure the cold without complaining. They are looking for the man who honors his lineage by exceeding it. Every day is a test. Every interaction is a chance to prove your philosophy. When someone insults you, do you react like a child, or do you remain unmoved like a stone? When you fail, do you look for an excuse, or do you look for the lesson? The alpha is not the loudest man in the room. He is the most composed. He is the man with the highest standard for himself. He is his own toughest judge. We live in an age of softness. We live in an age where the truth is offensive and effort is seen as a burden. This is your greatest advantage. In an age of weak men, a man with even a modicum of discipline becomes a giant. If you can simply do what you say you are going to do, you will surpass 90% of your competition. If you can do it with excellence and a warrior's heart, you will become a legend. The transition to greatness is a lonely road. You will lose friends. You will be misunderstood. People will tell you that you are changing, as if that were a bad thing. Of course you are changing. You are evolving. You are shedding the skin of the person you were to make room for the person you are becoming. You are leaving the village to climb the peak. Do not look back. The people who belong in your life will meet you at the top, or they will be inspired by your climb to start their own. As you build this new identity, you will feel a shift in the atmosphere around you. The world begins to reorganize itself to fit your new reality. Opportunities appear where there were only walls. People speak to you differently. There is a weight to your presence that wasn't there before. This is the modern Viking in action. It is the application of ancient wisdom to modern chaos. It is the realization that while the tools have changed, the soul of man remains the same. The soul still hungers for purpose. It still thirsts for challenge. You are forging a legacy. Not a legacy of money or buildings, but a legacy of character. You are showing the world what is possible when a man stops making excuses and starts making demands of himself. You are becoming a beacon for other lost souls, a reminder that the old ways are not dead. They are just waiting to be reclaimed. This journey does not have an end. There is no final boss. There is only the daily practice. There is only the next rep, the next hour, the next sunrise. You must fall in love with the process of your own destruction and reconstruction. You must become the architect and the stone, the sculptor and the clay. Now the sun is beginning to peek over the horizon. The world is waking up, preparing to repeat the same mundane patterns it has followed for years. But you are different. You have already faced the darkness. You have already won the first battle. You are dressed, you are focused, and you are dangerous. Not dangerous in a way that seeks to harm, but dangerous in a way that cannot be stopped. The man you were yesterday is dead. Do not mourn him. He was a necessary sacrifice. He was the fuel for the fire that is now burning in your eyes. Today you do not ask for permission. You do not ask for luck. You do not ask for the burden to be lighter. You ask for your shoulders to be broader. When you walk out of your door, carry the silence of the morning with you. Carry the cold of the floor and the heat of the forge. Speak only when it improves the silence. Act only when it moves you toward your purpose. Be the man who is so grounded in his own identity that the opinions of others are like rain on a shield. You are a leader. You are a warrior. You are the master of your own fate. The world is about to meet a man it cannot ignore. It is about to see the result of the hidden hours, the secret pains, and the silent victories. Go out and claim what is yours. Not because you are entitled to it, but because you have earned it through the blood of your own discipline. Remember the code. Honor the ancestors. Protect the tribe. Master the self. The fire is burning. The iron is hot. The anvil is waiting. What will you make of your life? The hammer is in your hand. Strike and strike again, until the world recognizes the shape of the man you have become. There is a calm that comes after the storm of transformation. It is the calm of absolute certainty. You no longer need to shout to be heard because your results speak with the volume of 1,000 cannons. You no longer need to chase because you have become the center of gravity. This is the legacy. It is the quiet strength of a man who has conquered his own soul. It is the peace of the warrior at rest, knowing that when the call comes again, he will be ready. The shadows are receding. The day is yours. The world is yours. Become undeniable. Become the man who, when his feet hit the floor in the morning, the devil himself says, "Oh no, he's awake." This is your life. This is your war. This is your victory. Walk into the light of the new day, not as a seeker, but as a conqueror of your own limitations. The transformation is complete, yet it has only just begun. The man in the mirror is no longer a stranger. He is your greatest ally. He is the man no one can ignore. Stay hungry. Stay cold. Stay disciplined. The lineage continues through you. Do not let the fire go out. Carry it into the world and let it burn for all to see. The time for talk is over. The time for being is here. Live the code. Be the storm. Be the man.